On January 20th, President Trump had enough and sent MQ-9 drones flying over the U.S.-Mexico border. The U.S. military's most lethal drone, designed to take out high-value targets in the Middle East. Its presence here raises a critical question. Who or what is it hunting? According to press releases and confirmation by both the American and Mexican governments, there have been 18 surveillance flights since Trump took office on January 20th. Among the aircraft participating, none have raised more concern than the MQ-9 Reaper. The MQ-9 Reaper is the primary armed reconnaissance drone in the U.S. inventory, with the ability to carry up to 8 Hellfire missiles, including the infamous ninja bombs that disperse a field of knives at the enemy. The Reaper's name is well earned. However, delivering death on demand is just one of its functions. With the ability to be airborne for up to 40 hours at a time and cover distances of 1,150 miles without refueling, the Reaper has amazing stay time for long-range missions. While on these missions, the Reaper has a whole host of advanced surveillance equipment like full-motion video, thermal imagers, and its Raytheon MTSB multispectral targeting system. This targeting system is so sensitive that the Reaper can zoom in and tell people apart from up to 25,000 feet in the air or read a license plate from several miles away. Because of these capabilities, the Central Intelligence Agency has lent its fleet of MQ-9 Reapers to the Drug Enforcement Agency, which began under the Biden administration. The purpose of these flights was to help sniff out covert narcotic manufacturing labs in remote areas of Mexico. While these initial flights started under Biden with Mexican cooperation, since Trump took office, these flights have rapidly expanded. In fact, not only have there been more Reapers in the air, but the full might of U.S. military on the land, sea, and air is being mobilized to carry out Trump's orders. Within days of Trump's inauguration, the southern border began seeing a level of military activity that has never been seen before. As of the making of this video, around 2,000 military personnel have been publicly confirmed to be taking part in security operations. This figure includes more than 140 intelligence personnel from organizations like the CIA and National Security Agency. Additionally, efforts have been increased to create a physical barrier to prevent cartels from crossing the border. Since reclaiming power, Trump has been busy building the border wall. Contrary to popular belief, this wall is more than just a standard concrete wall, with new sections measuring up to 30 feet tall with anti-climb measures and anchored in steel bollards. This new border wall is more impenetrable than ever. But if people do manage to clamber over, a whole host of motion sensors and cameras will activate. This is where the Air National Guard unit steps in. Because the Border Patrol needs every agent on hand to actually effect arrests, the National Guard has been stepping in to fill support roles traditionally manned by agents. In this video, these Air National Guardsmen demonstrate how they get real-time alerts from the border wall as people illegally cross it. After getting these alerts, the airmen send their drones to investigate. If the drone detects a false alarm, all is well. However, if it was a person crossing, the airmen alert their law enforcement partners to swoop in and effect an arrest. It is efforts like this that have greatly reduced the cartel's ability to funnel people, narcotics, weapons, and other contraband across the border. Evidence of this is in the border encounter numbers. Under Biden, Border Patrol arrested an average of 7,153 people a day. Under Trump, this has shrunk to just over 1,000 per day. But this is just one of many efforts undertaken by the DoD in helping law enforcement counter the cartels. In fact, each service is bringing in some never-before-seen tech to help battle the cartels. According to media reports and confirmed by the Pentagon, the 18 overflights and counting since January 2025 include not only the MQ-9 Reaper, but also a blast from the past in the U-2 spy plane. Despite its age, the U-2 offers unparalleled capabilities crucial to gathering intelligence on cartel operations. Although the plane travels at 70,000 feet, This is not a defense measure against cartel anti-air systems, since the most they have are a smattering of outdated manpads. What really makes the U-2 special in this flight is its camera equipment. With the ability to capture high-definition images from more than 300 miles away, the U-2 can create accurate maps of any area, day or night. This is crucial, considering most cartel strongholds are in remote areas that are not easily accessible to ground units. In addition to the U-2, the Navy is also getting in on the action with its P-8 Poseidon. Made to help hunt enemy ships and submarines, the Navy has relegated at least one P-8 to help find out more about cartel operations. Recent media reports indicate the P-8 the Navy is using has been active around the Baja Peninsula. This makes sense, considering that while overland drug smuggling routes are still preferred, the cartels have been utilizing an increasing number of narco submarines to smuggle drugs into the U.S. in recent years. These semi-submersibles, since they don't actually go all the way beneath the water, can carry about 1.5 tons of cocaine per trip. With overland routes severely degraded, cartels have been investing heavily in waterborne routes to California, which the P-8 is helping put a stop to. But focusing on disrupting the flow of drugs is not the military's only concern. They're also coming after cartel leaders themselves. How America is going after cartel leaders is through the use of the RC-135 rivet joint. This specifically modified aircraft is one of the world's most advanced intelligence collection platforms. With dozens of different sensors on board, the rivet joint can detect, identify, and geolocate signals across the electromagnetic spectrum. These signals include radio, cell phone, push-to-talk radios, and other communications equipment commonly used by the cartels. After being spotted operating near Sinaloa, the Air Force was confirmed to be helping gather intelligence on the big bosses. And what the U.S. intends to do with that data may surprise you. Although the idea has been floated for years, the proposal to bomb the cartels has suddenly become mainstream. Shortly after Trump designated 8 groups as national security threats, Elon Musk posted on X that the groups were now eligible to be bombed. And while this might seem like crazy talk from someone who likes to partake of these substances on podcasts himself, he is supported by many high-ranking members in the Trump administration. For example, Trump's so-called border czar Tom Homan has supported direct military intervention in Mexico. His sentiments are echoed by Vice President J.D. Vance, who proposed sending U.S. Marines into Mexico while Trump was on the campaign trail. In addition to these people, Michael Waltz, one of Trump's national security advisors, co-sponsored a bill to bomb the cartels when he was a congressman. Lastly, the current Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has not ruled out direct military action against the cartels. He's claimed all options are on the table and desires to see kinetic strikes against the cartels similar to how the U.S. targeted al-Qaeda, Taliban, and ISIS strongholds in Iraq and Afghanistan. However, this is easier said than done. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has publicly denounced any efforts of direct U.S. military action as an invasion of Mexico and a violation of Mexican sovereignty. Her sentiments are felt by about 60% of Mexicans who oppose direct U.S. military intervention in the country. This is understandable since it has not worked out well before. After President Calderon first declared war on the cartels in 2006, over 100,000 people died during his presidency. Since then, Mexico has continued to devolve into violence, with 5 of the 10 deadliest cities in the world in Mexico. Additionally, cartels control about 30% of Mexican territory and are, in fact, the nation's 5th largest employer, with about 175,000 sicarios on their payroll. Because of how ingrained the cartels are in Mexico, along with vehement public disapproval of direct U.S. military action, there's only one option that makes sense for Trump to take the war to the cartels. Early in the morning hours of January 8, 2016, in Los Mochis, Mexico, a team of Mexican Marines got ready to storm a compound that purportedly housed Mexico's most wanted man, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. After an initial explosion and volley of gunfire, the Mexican Marines continued clearing the house as they dispatched any cartel gunmen that got in their way. Despite clearing the house, El Chapo was able to escape with his personal bodyguard via an underground tunnel through the city's sewer system. Thankfully, not long after carjacking someone at gunpoint, federal police arrested Guzman after a short chase on a nearby freeway. While Guzman's capture made international headlines at the time, what did not make the news was the U.S. involvement. Though no Americans directly participated in the raid, a team of Delta Force operators served as tactical advisors to the Mexican Marines who undertook the operation. Delta Force is the literal tip of the spear of the U.S. military. Taking in anyone who can pass their rigorous training requirements, Delta Force carries out the most dangerous missions in the U.S. military. With their vast operational experience, sources later touted that the training and advice given by the Delta Force were crucial in the raid's success. Because of missions like this, it is highly likely that there will be future missions where U.S. Special Forces are training and advising their Mexican counterparts more frequently. Whether the line between advising and participating will be blurred is currently unknown. However, with the current appetite for direct attacks and the Mexican resistance to such blatant violations of their sovereignty, allowing Special Forces to fight side by side with Mexican troops is the most likely scenario in the near future. Do you think the cartels stand a chance at surviving if U.S. Special Forces come after them? Bye for now.